Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. My phone number is 864-236-1680, or you can email me at dyslexicgeniushurt@gmail.com. What I'm going to talk about is prepping for nickel plating, and Matcha doesn't want to help us today. You've noticed I've taped things off. This is a Victor motorboard bolt that screws into the motor through the wooden motorboard. This is one that needs to be re-nickel plated. But what you need to do is to polish off all the rust and smooth it out. So when they plate it, you have a smooth surface for the nickeling, because you're only going to plate nickel unless you do double plating, which is copper and then nickel. But on these machines, they were just straight nickel. So you need to remove the rust or you'll have a little bit of pitting on this. You also need to know, this is a speed control to a Victor 5 or a Victor 4. These are brass. And so is the nut right here that does the speed adjustment, and then you have the little arrow. You need to put a magnet on your parts before you go to the plater and tell him, oh, these pieces are brass. So when you apply the nickel, it's going to be different than applying it to steel. So I've polished out the top piece, the nut that turns for the speed control. You can see I got this really smooth and nice, because what happens when they plated it 100 years ago, you get this black looking stuff underneath the nickel. Well, the nickel is just coming off because it's starting to just come off the material. And also, like the speed control, you see the blue painter's tape on these things? You want to tape off the threads. You don't want any you don't want any nickel on your threads. Like this is the nut or screw that screws in to hold the back bracket. You notice I cleaned that one off. Here's one that's been re-nickeled. You can see the difference. If I hadn't taken the rust pitting out, you'd have pits on this. Here's a bullet break. This is what it looks like when you get a 100-year-old piece that's been sitting in the basement or something. This is after nickel plating. You can see there was a lot of rust on this. I still have a little bit of pitting, but this is fine. This came out very nicely. This piece will come out too. These are just things you need to look at if you're having things plated. Yes, I have stuff going to the plater tomorrow, and we'll see that. I'm also doing the crank, and I've taped off the internal threads for the Victor. This will all be done, and you can see, look at this. They drilled the hole off when they were making it. It wasn't dead center. Isn't that interesting? And then I'm going to show you a little trick. When I was taking this apart, the wooden handle just came apart in 3 pieces because it was dried out. I'll show you how to fix one of those. These are just things you need to look at if you're doing machines and you want to go, I'm not putting this rusty crap on my phonograph. And that's how you have to look at it. There's a point where you go, marginal, I have to replate. That's what you need to look at. You know, this is a lot of fun, and that was my tip for the day.